Hello, Morongo Basin, and listeners around the world online at Z107.7fm.com. This is your Z107.7 local news for Saturday, April 20th, 2024. The Mojave Desert Land Trust is located right on the edge of Joshua Tree. You've probably passed by the big MDLT sign on Highway 62 coming in or passing through our small unincorporated community of Joshua Tree. Tucked between the town of Yucca Valley and the city of 29 Palms, Joshua Tree is of course named after the iconic succulent, which is one of the 2 threatened species that the Mojave Desert Land Trust named in their annual report that they released this week. If you aren't familiar with the Land Trust, they were founded in 2006 and since then have protected approximately 120,000 acres of the Mojave Desert. The Mojave is in their name, but their service area spans nearly 26 million acres, and that includes portions of the Colorado Desert, which meets the Mojave inside Joshua Tree National Park. In their 18th year, the Land Trust is focusing on the future of the western Joshua Tree, which MDLT Executive Director Kelly Herbenson says is the first native plant in California to be legislatively protected, primarily due to the threat of climate change. They also discuss the ecosystem and shrinking habitat of the endangered Mojave tortoise, a species unique to our area and a brand new addition to the California Endangered Species List. The report cites data that shows a shrinking population of both species, the tortoise population declining by 38% in the last 20 years, and the slow-growing western Joshua Tree facing threats from wildfire, development, and hotter temperatures in the only areas where it thrives. Alongside this alarming data are steps that the Land Trust is taking to make sure these species and protections last into the future. Their seed bank saw significant expansion in 2023, in part due to a $3.19 million grant from the California Wildlife Conservation Board. The MDLT says that this investment will enable them to collect, process, and store seeds representing 300 different species, alongside expanding the facility's current capacity to 500 organisms, or roughly 20% of the desert's native flora. Their sustainable seed harvesting is also responsible for their mega-popular native plant sales. They report nearly 4,000 native plants were sold to desert dwellers eager to plant more water-wise flora in their home environments. The annual report also details an effort to restore the shoreline of the Salton Sea, the MDLT's unique Women in STEM program, and a nice feature on their Desert Discovery Garden, a personal favorite place of mine to bring folks who are visiting the high des. If you're already a member of the MDLT, you may have noticed that they sent a postcard with a QR code that links to a digital version of the nicely designed annual report this year, a welcome move that will certainly see less paper waste. We'll have a link to that annual report where you can read more about everything mentioned here and more. That's at this story at Z107.7fm.com. Yucca Valley's latest happening, the third Saturday Art Walk, is happening today and tonight. With a look at this month's gallery openings, here's art aficionado Jeff Harmatz.
The Yucca Valley Art Walk features the many galleries of Yucca Valley and Pioneer Town opening their doors to the public, with many debuting new work or new shows. Goat Mountain Company is hosting a new group show called Nude Confessions, set to feature figurative work with an emphasis on the human body and nakedness. This group show will have an opening reception from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Space Truckin' Gallery is debuting a group show featuring trippy art from a number of high desert artists. It's called Psychedel Art and opens with a reception from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. And Star Tile is the most recent addition to the Yucca Valley Art Walk lineup, a new storefront and gallery space on 29 Palms Highway featuring unique tiling and ceramic work. The studio will be open from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. A number of other Yucca Valley-based artists and stores will be showing their work throughout the town today. For a full list of participating galleries, studios, and shops, and their open hours, see this story at Z107.7fm.com. Reporting for Z107.7, I'm Jeff Harmatz.
The San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department have announced that they will be out in maximum enforcement of DUI laws tonight from 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. DUI stands for driving under the influence, and that means alcohol, marijuana, or even over-the-counter drugs. Anything which can impair your driving and reaction times can result in a DUI charge, which, on average, can cost the driver $13,000 in fines, a suspended license, or worse, you can harm or kill yourself or others. It's not worth it, so when you're out partying this weekend, take a minute and make a plan to get home safely with a designated driver. The Beatnik Lounge presents the poetry of Heather Morgan, featuring the verses of the local screenwriter, actress, and poet this Sunday at 7 p.m. Reporter Gabriel Hart further frames the meter and structure of this free event.
Come for a brief evening of poetry about loss, childhood trauma, and mental illness, sprinkled in with humor by local poet and actress Heather Morgan. Morgan started her career as a member of the Groundlings main company in L.A., with credits including The Dana Carvey Show and HBO's The Comeback. Adding to the sundry ambiance, these words will be presented by fellow writers and performers Susan Rukeyser, Patrick Bristow, and Loa Bogner. The reading will also be accompanied by the otherworldly sounds of experimental band Fog Machine, as well as complimentary small bites by local chef Epicurean Fling. Come to either get lost or to find a piece of yourself within these stark, honest, chilling, and amusing laments. While Morgan is accustomed to performing in front of an audience, we asked her why she's chosen poets to read her work for the event. She said, quote, "A lot of my poetry is dark and hard about mental illness and childhood trauma, and I thought it'd be interesting to hear my words through other mouths to hit a more universal nerve," unquote. Reporting for Z107.7, this is Gabriel Hart.
The Joshua Tree No-Kill Shelter relies on community donations to keep the doors open and the dogs and cats well-fed, healthy, and ready for adoption. Woof Walking This Way with a fundraising pup date is Sunday's owner, Jeff Harmatz.
The 10th annual Woof Walk was held on April 6th, and in addition to the parade of pups prancing through Pioneer Town, the event raised significant funding for the Joshua Tree No-Kill Shelter. The registration fee for the parade, along with funds generated from the live and silent auctions, brought in nearly $30,000. More than 400 people attended the event to shop, hear music, and let their dogs mingle, and they raised nearly $23,000 on the day of the event. An additional $6,000 was raised in an online fundraiser starring Emmy, the dog belonging to Peter and Melissa Spurs. The Woof Walk parade down Pioneer Town's Main Street was led by Miss Yakovali and her court, and the day was capped off with snake wrangling from Danielle Wall and a performance by Jessica Von Rabbit and Z107.7's own DJ Lee as Bunny and Clyde. Morongo Basin Humane Society Board President Mary Mitz described the event as the, quote, most successful yet. My dog Sunday and I attended this year's event and participated in the parade, and we agree with Miss Mitz. Reporting for Z107.7, I'm Jeff Harmatz.
Thanks, Jeff. The shelter is open from noon to 4 today. You can see this story at our website for a list of donations they're looking for, as well as their Instagram where you can scroll through adorable and adoptable cats and dogs. And that's your local news for Saturday. You can hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. More Morongo Basin residents get their local news from Z107.7 than any other source. Reporting out of beautiful Joshua Tree, California, alongside the award-winning Z107.7 news team, I'm Robert Hayden.